Yes. Okay, so tonight is talking all about the intersectionality of these two things, right? And the reason why that's important is because there are so many of us that are in all of these sections, and we've not yet come to the realization of how much this all intertwines, right? When you are in a community that is all of one, right? Let's just say, for instance, I'm in a community of women that like to wear red glasses, right? I'm just making it up. Okay. And so that's one particular intersection, one community, right? Where this gets fun at is when the communities start to expand based on all of your shared or common interests. Okay. And so imagine that when it comes to the LGBTQIA plus community. All right. And so that's why this is important. So without further ado, let me back up and just tell you a little bit about who I am. Okay. I'm Coach T. I am a business and mindset coach for women entrepreneurs and women veterans and a few good men. I also am a gay, Black, female, veteran, 100% disabled veteran woman. I am also somebody's mama and somebody's wife. And so I've got a lot of intersectionality. And what that means to me is that it's given me quite the different, unique perspective and introspective as a result of all of the different ways that I've had experiences. What it also means is that as a result of those intersections, that there is a good possibility that just along with every last one of those intersectionalities that I mentioned, all of those different identities, comes along with it an equal and separate amount of discrimination, as well as limitations as a result of being a minority and being in a marginalized community of those intersectionalities. Right. And so it is actually something that, give me a second, I just noticed this little spotlight search thing on there. It is something that we're going to actually be talking about now and really, really getting into it. Okay. And so the first thing I want to do is talk about the intersectionality and just actually understanding what that is, right? And how does it truly apply? Okay. And so, we talked a little bit about it just a minute ago. The intersectionality is truly all of the things that cause us to stand out, and stand out as different, right? Not necessarily good or bad. It's man who creates a good or bad. It's just different. And we're all different, to be clear, right? Because even twins have differences. And so so that is intersectionality. But then when it applies to people in the pride community, then there's an extra layer of complexity on top of all of the things that could have possibly been the case in the first place, right? For instance, me, I'm a gay Black veteran, disabled veteran, and if that were not enough, then adding being a lesbian on there, adding being married to another lesbian on there, and us having children, a child together, adds additional complexity to something that is already taboo or frowned upon. Okay, and so there are various identities within intersectionality, and there's so many. I'm not going to talk about all of them, but some of the ones that stand out to me. Okay, some of the ones that stand out to me are let me see, the challenges faced when it comes to our race. Okay, especially in America. It wasn't until 1964. I think that's 60 years ago. 60 years ago, right? This is 2024. So 60 years ago. It was only 60 years ago that race, by law, right? Now, if people are abiding by the law or not, once again, up into interpretation, but even up into the point where it was considered law, even that was simply only 60 years ago. Okay. And so there are some people's that got sisters that are older than 60. I've got a sister that's older than 60, and she's not my mother or grandmother, right? So in my sister's generation is as long as, we have been able to have a law that has stood behind us regarding race. Very, very closely to that is gender. Gender was 61 years ago, so even longer ago. So that year, 63 and 4, 63 and 64, they was on it, right? They was on it and popping. They were taking care of laws. And if you're looking in 63 and 64 and you're looking in those years concurrently, you're like, man, okay, maybe we're going somewhere as a country here, because in 64, we've axed, at least on paper, race discrimination. In 63, we've axed, at least on paper, gender discrimination, right? Which, based on the timing, we know that gender discrimination was mainly based on white women, right, and white men. But either way, that's when it first came. That was 61 years ago. Okay, 61 years ago. Another one that is near and dear to me, because I am a disabled veteran, is disability laws. So disability laws, guys, so disability discrimination laws were only created in 1990. And so if you do that math, that is like 34 years, okay? 34 years. So younger than me and younger than probably some of you, right? 34 years ago was when there was first some type of law put in action to say, hey, you can't discriminate against people that are disabled. That's not a good thing. That wasn't that long ago. Okay, that wasn't that long ago. But here's the reason why we're all here. The reason why we're all here is because the last stat, which was the last step that I want to discuss, which is based on sexuality. Now, for whatever reason, the country likes to be up in our business when it comes to who's in our bed. I don't know why, but here we are, okay? And so what frustrates me about that is that, in this one, it is the most of, call it what you want, Miss Pearl from 227, looking all over everybody, being in everybody's business. It's the most of in your business of all of these things, because it really has nothing to do with who you are as a person, only who you choose to sleep with. But either way, that law discriminating people from marrying same-sex marriages, it only became unlawful in all 50 states in 2009 to discriminate, to lawful, right? So that was like 15 years ago. That's it. 15 years ago. My son is older than that. Okay. My son is older than that. And so when my son was born, it was a crime, depending on what state I was in, for me to have a same-sex relationship. Okay. And then only in 2015, was it then legal in all of the states. That was only 9 years ago, right? And that is actually younger than a lot of your children, a lot of our children. Shit, I mean, probably some tools we got in the cabinet, some medicine that we need to throw away. You know what I mean? It's younger than a lot of shit that we've got in our house, because that's not that old. But that really tells you exactly how this journey of being in a society where, what the law of the land says goes, even if it truly discriminates against your core basic values. And so, that is where we've come from. That is our, journey. That's our journey in intersectionality, only with those one, two, three, that was four parts that I mentioned. That has nothing to do with the other areas, right? It was only that. And it tells you exactly how long we've been dealing with this and how long we still are. Okay. And so, it is truly something to know and understand that this has been a journey. It's not going anywhere. So the question is, what are you doing about it? How are you using your intersectionality, your experience, your common experiences, to impact others? Okay, to impact others. A lot of the reasons why we're not doing it as much as I feel like we should or could, right? I won't say should, because that's a matter of opinion, but I would say could or are capable of. That reason is, in my opinion, because of all of the challenges, right? all of the challenges that we face. People in the pride community, there are additional complexities and layers of discrimination that are faced, right? And that's something to like, if in the event that you're not in the community, it's not even something you recognize. You could be a black disabled woman, right? And still not understand the complexities and challenges of a black gay disabled woman, right? That last part creates a whole entire new world of complexities. Once again, I just said the very last thing to be approved on this list of things that you could intersect in your experiences in life has been sexual orientation discrimination, right? And so that is a major challenge. Okay, and I wanted to just kind of break some things down when it comes to how because I don't want this to just simply be, let me just tell you some things. I want to make sure that you get some ways to get to the other side of these challenges, right? So that you can be the victor of your challenges. Okay, and so Ashanti, right? Ashanti, I just want to give you a little information about Ashanti here. So Ashanti is a local business owner, a local artist in the community, and she's in the pride community as well. She is trans, right? Transitioned from male to female. And Ashanti is about her business all the way. She came out of corporate America ready to go. But then she just started to get all of this doubt. She started to get all of this, trepidation and fear, not knowing, and then it just froze her. And so for months, her friends are like, "What happened, girl? I thought you had this new thing, this new idea. What happened?" And she hid. She doesn't want to talk about it, all the things, right? And so her inner thoughts, right, being this black, gay, trans woman, right, is that she's unwanted. That's one of the constant thoughts that goes on in her head, just like subcutaneous fats, like, just under the skin, just permeating as if it is just air, a part of you, because it is at some point when you repeat these thoughts over and over again, right? Once again, said in the business and the mindset coach, I'm showing you how this intersects, right? And so if Ashanti has been thinking all of this time as a gay, black, trans woman, right, that she's unwanted, unloved, and unimportant, right? Just something like that on those terms. And every day, even when she's having a good time with her friends, even when she's back at home Netflixing and chilling, she's still thinking the same thing, right? It's just always under the surface of her mind. If she feels like that, there's no way she can also feel confident to ask for the sale in her business. It's impossible, right? If that is what is truly ruling you, if that is truly your thought process, there's no way you could do that. The two won't exist. Or if it does exist, it'll be forced and it won't sound real. And your client will also feel that, okay? It will also, think about that, if she's feeling unwanted, unloved, right, unimportant, how do you think she will react to, respond to, or even have a desire, want to speak up about her problems to anybody, right? Maybe it may be easier to speak up about her problems to another gay, black, trans person in the community. But if someone else does not share her intersectionality, I could imagine that being quite a lonely place to be, right? Quite the lonely place to be. So imagine that. And then think about, right, if she doesn't think that she's important, she may not even feel like she needs to speak up about her problems, because who would care in the first place? So she keeps it all in, right? Now that's the person that is now looking to start a business, right? Now I need you to think about the mindset of that kind of person going into something, excited to start a business, but a mountain of doubt just flows and flies in right after it. And that's where it could come from, right? Okay, so Rock is a gay black man living in the closet. So he living wide and proud, but in the closet. Listen, he got the boys in the yard every day, but they in the closet. They got to get their ass out the closet when it's time to go to work. Okay, and so he is, living in the closet, loud and proud, and his thoughts is that he's ashamed and that he's doing a shameful thing, and that he's got to hide his actions, right? And so these are, once again, just like with Ashanti, these are things underlying subcutaneous fat that you can't do anything about. It's just right there at the surface of the skin. It's always with you. It's just kind of like breathing, or your teeth, or your purse if you're a woman, or your wallet if you like to wear wallets. It doesn't matter, but it is something that is natural, all right? Just natural, all right? Brock's natural thoughts are that he's ashamed of who he is. Now, we didn't talk about the why, but the why could be something as easy as, man, his dad was somebody in the military, didn't play that shit, looked at it, it's just like, man, I got this son that's not like me. I don't know what to do with that. Lack of acceptance led to all kinds of stuff. And next thing you know, he's feeling ashamed of who he loves and who he feels the best when he is. He's feeling ashamed of that person. That person that makes him feel the most free and the most loved, right? And as a result of being shameful, he hides. And as a result of hiding, oh my gosh, he's missing out on intimacy. He's missing out on connections, and not just with the partner, which they could probably hide together, right? But with the world, right? He's missing out on love, the opportunity to connect and to have friendships, right? And to truly live and walk and move in your authenticity. He's missing out on all of those things, because he feels that something he should be ashamed about. And so once again, a completely different complexity. So what does that person do? They probably go to work and just not, if they are going to work, they present themselves as if gender is not a thing, right? As if they are not who they are. And when you present yourself as if you're not who you are, it's no way that you can go and give 100% of who you're supposed to be. And so now you're at conflict, and now you're not able to step into your full authenticity and who you are. Okay. All right. And so think about that person, and then think about if Rock, that person, that version of Rock, is showing up at the networking events, is shaking people's hands, did they even go to the networking event? Because they probably talked themselves out of it. Right. And if they went, are they confident? Are they in the corner, sitting on the corner, just waiting on someone to come to them? They're just happy that they've gotten a building, right? You got to think about things like that, and what happened to them? What could have attributed to these things? It's your job, even if you are not in the LGBTQIA plus community, to be an ally. If that is something that you choose to do, then you've got to be an ally by seeing these signs, by seeing these cues, and choosing to help in a different way. So hopefully, by showing you the thought process of how that could show from someone, from the thought process to what it actually looks like in action, you can see the resemblance and know how to help it. So lastly, as we finish this out, we're going to talk about some opportunities for growth. Okay, so opportunities for growth. So first of all, there's strength in numbers. Okay, there is strength and numbers. To me, what that means is that the more intersectionality that you find and create for yourself, the stronger you will get. Now, I know, that's not what you thought it was going to be, number one. And then number two, it's especially not what you expected for me to say when it comes to intersectionality. But I am here to say it. It gives you more wisdom, right? It allows you to have more experiences, that allows you to go and be there for your clients in a different way, be coachable, be teachable, be trainable, right? It allows you to be able to sit down and shut up when you need to, and sometimes be able to talk when you've also got to, right? And so all of these things are important. And sometimes we don't realize it, or we don't tap into those other areas we've got. It's like being on a video game and being able to tap into a different world, right? Of course you want to do that. That is what we're leaving on the table when we're not acknowledging, recognizing our numbers, our strengths. The strength is in our intersectionality, right? And so my experiences from being a woman in this country are completely different from my experiences of being a veteran woman in this country. And those two things, the way that they intersect, the wisdom that comes from the intersection of that, is how we move forward, right? But it's only if I'm speaking up about it. It's only if I'm being intentional in using that intersectionality to move me forward. Okay, so that is how you grow with that opportunity, right? So what that would look like on a daily basis for someone like me is, so I am a 100% disabled veteran. I am also a coach, mindset coach, a business coach. I help people to scale their businesses from $1 to $1 million, right? But once again, I am also a 100% disabled veteran, specific spotlight on disabled. And so for me, my intersectionality, me using my coaching and speaking skills could come into handy when possibly talking about promoting something regarding the ADA space, right? Disability or anything like that. Okay, that is me using and leveraging my experience in both my personal disabilities as a result of the invisible disabilities that I have, as well as my ability to speak, train, and coach from being someone that works in that space, right? And the intersectionality of, you know, my Black gay self, veteran, whatever that I'm using, to grow, to move forward. Okay. You can do that same thing in your business. Okay. You can do the exact same thing in your business. I want you to think deeper, right, in order to do that. So just like there's strength in numbers when it comes to you pointing out all of your areas of intersection, all right, there's also intersectionality in your business where it's important to then from that point out all of the areas that as a result of the experience you have from being that person, that veteran, that disabled person, that woman, that Black woman, that gay woman, whatever it is, right? How can that be a value proposition for you in your business that could possibly add an additional stream of revenue that you weren't even thinking about, right? And so that is how you use this as an opportunity to grow and to strengthen your reach, your network, right? Just by pointing out how you intersect, right? The ways that we all intersect with one another, all of the different shades that you have as a result of all of the different realms of experiences and possibilities that you've allowed in your life and things that you've said yes to, then there are going to be a lot of people that that will yield to you for your experiences and for the things that you offer and bring to the world. Okay. And so when you think about it like that, then it's important for you to recognize that it is you. It is you that has to stand up and speak about your intersectionality and speak about the ways that create difference in you as a superpower versus as something to be ashamed about. You being different is in this case the best part of something that you could do. Okay. And so I truly want to make sure that you get that because it's the most important part to this. Okay. In conclusion, guys, you can't fully embrace, right? You can't fully embrace your entrepreneurial journey. Okay. You're never going to be able to fully embrace it without embracing your intersectional identity. You've got to literally look at all of the ways that make you different in order to become a better entrepreneur. That's your cheat code. So if you're not using that in that way, you're not fully utilizing the absolute best parts of you so that you can go out there and provide a value proposition to this world, right? That is your unique value proposition. All right. So you've got to learn to love and respect all of the parts of you so that you can give the greatest amount of value to everyone else, including yourself, including your business, right? Including your family. Okay. And so it's not the other way around. Your intersectionality is what actually causes you to be that person to get it done, but only in the event that you're looking at it in that way. Okay. All right, guys. So that is what I had for you today. I would love to know if you have any questions, any comments. I would love to know it. So I'll just pause and see if there's anything in the chat. But that's what I have for you today. Really just wanted to make sure you understood the value of your intersectionality and how it pulls in order to make you the best version of yourself. Any questions, comments, concerns? Okay. All right, guys. Well, if not, then I want to say thank you so, so much for attending. I really, really appreciate it. I hope you got something from it. If you did, definitely let me know. I always like to get your feedback, and I will talk to you next time. All right. Peace.